Welcome back to my kitchen. The next page in our taco manual takes us to everyone's favorite tacos dorados. Whether you're in the northern part of Mexico or all the way out into the Yucatan, you can always find a cafeteria, like a coffee shop place, or even street vendors that are making tacos dorados. So they're just the simple rolled ones, sometimes called taquitos, sometimes called flautas, especially if they're the long ones. But everybody has a taste for them. They just love them. So I'm going to show you the most efficient way to get through that so that you can share it with your family and your friends. Now, I am starting here with tortillas that are meant for frying. Now, that's a harder thing for a lot of people to find in the Mexican grocery stores, or certainly in the regular grocery stores. These are very thin and they're very dry, meaning that they don't soak up oil when you fry them. So when you go to the Mexican grocery store, you will always be looking for the thinnest tortillas that you could find, or you can go to a tortilleria, a Mexican tortilla factory, and you can buy the ones that they make just for frying, like for frying for chips. Okay, so that's what I have here. This is what we use in our restaurant to make the tacos dorados, and I'm going to start with those just laying out here. If your tortillas are super fresh, they should be, you can just sort of spread them out and let them dry out in the open air environment for half hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Now, you have to choose the filling that you're going to use. I'm going to be using chicken here, but ones of ricotta are very popular and very delicious. Or actually, probably my favorite would be the ones of potatoes. Flautas in Mexico City filled with potatoes are absolutely delicious. You want to season the filling with a generous amount of salt, which would mean that when you taste it, whatever it is, whether it's the ricotta, the potato, or the chicken that I'm using here, you want to season it a little bit more highly than if you were just going to eat it straight away. You want it to be a little bit salty because tortillas don't have any salt in them at all. So I've got that right. If you're using rotisserie chicken, sometimes they come really salty, so you may not want to salt it at all. Okay, second step. I have heated some oil here, and I want it to be about 350 degrees or so. So I'm going to check it with my thermometer to see where we are. And I'm at about 350 exactly. Well, I lied, 347. But that's going to be perfect for what we're doing here. And all I'm going to do, some people don't do this, and I understand it, but working in restaurants my whole life, I know that people do this in restaurants all the time, and it's really an efficient way to get these tortillas into a way that you can roll them really tightly without them breaking. Okay, so I take them about 3 pieces at a time, and then into the hot oil, I dip them like this. And once they kind of come up and really bubble nicely, that just takes a couple of seconds there. I am going to put them on paper towels to drain. So it's a very short fry. Next step with these guys is to pat them dry. So I just use a paper towel like that, and you don't have to be meticulous with this part of it at all, because they're going to go back in. Now, some people would say that this must make the tortillas really greasy when you fry them. It's just actually the opposite. They come out super beautiful and light once you've given them this original dunk in the oil to soften them completely. All right, I'm going to set that aside now. To the filling here, lay a tortilla out, put some chicken or potatoes or ricotta or whatever else you might have. Ones filled with barbacoa are good, ones filled with carnitas are really good. So there's a lot of different options for you with the filling here, and a great way to use some leftovers and make it into something everybody is going to want to have. Okay, all of them are rolled now. What I like to do, and again, this probably comes from the fact that I have worked in restaurants for a long time, is to skewer these guys. And the way that I skewer them is to roll this part of it toward the inside, the overlapping flap toward the inside like that. And then I'm going to put another one facing it like that. This is going to keep them from unrolling during the frying. And then the final one, again, with the flap facing inward. So you see like that. Now, everybody likes to push them all together like that, but instead you need to bring them apart far enough so that the oil can get in there, and then we can, when we drop it into the oil, it will fry crisp all the way around. Okay, I'm going to skewer the rest of these and then get my oil right. This time I'm going to want the oil to be actually at about 360 degrees, a little hotter than when I did the quick fry of the tortillas at the beginning. I'm going to heat it up to that, and I'll meet you back here when everything is ready for the fry. Okay, I've got these all skewered and ready to go, and I've collected together the garnishes, which is my favorite part of making tacos dorados. We have crema, Mexican crema. We've got a beautiful roasted tomatillo salsa, some queso añejo, like the cotija style. I sliced up some radish there, and I'm going to slice up some lettuce to go on top of it. Some people use iceberg. I actually kind of like the hearts of the romaine for this, but you can choose whatever suits your own fancy there. I'm going to do a couple cups of it like that. I'm going to use the top part of it then to go into a salad. I think that should be about the right amount. And then I've got some cilantro here. I'm just going to chop it roughly here. Not roughly, I'm going to chop it finely. That's really going to be what's going to look the nicest for the top of these guys. And then I've got my oil at that 360 to 370. So it's hot oil. That will fry these the crispest. So I'm going to start by dropping a couple of these guys in here. I just want to check the temperature one more time to make sure that we're at the right temperature. Yeah, we're at the right temperature here. And just lay these beauties right in here. They'll fry for a couple of minutes, and then I'll turn them over and fry them on the other side just to make sure that they're completely crisp all around. All right, everything is looking very, very good. They, as you can see here, have fried up completely greaseless. Let me turn the oil off here. And now we're ready to go on to the plating of this. And I will say that the plating should always be kept very abundant because that's what these are, just fun. And so putting all the toppings on in a great abundant way is just spectacular. Okay, so we're going to line these guys up here. And by the way, you can keep these warm for 15 minutes or so in the a low oven if you want. Just don't cover them at all. So we've got our dozen taquitos, tacos dorados, little mini flautas here. And then the first thing that I'm going to do is to put on the Mexican crema. And I am going to stir it. So if you're using sour cream for this, make sure that you always stir it up with a little bit of milk so that you can get this kind of a texture out of it. Then I really like these splashed with some spicy salsa verde. over the top of them. You could use any kind of salsa for this, but salsa verde is tangy and spicy and herby, and I think it goes well with the fried flavors. Then I'm going to sprinkle on a little bit of cheese. I may come back and put some more on at the end here. I'm going to use the lettuce, the crunchy lettuce that I have sliced up here, to go right down the center of this. You can see how all of a sudden it starts looking like a real party here. And that's one of the reasons that I like to tell you, if you can do anything ahead, you can roll these ahead, a day ahead or so, keep them really well covered in the refrigerator. And then after frying, you can let them sit for 15 or 20 minutes in the oven. I've sliced radish here because the crunch and the flavor is good, but also the color of it is really pretty on top of this. We've got our cilantro to sprinkle over. This just is making me very happy right now. And then I'm going to take just a little bit more of the cheese and sprinkle that over the top of it. So this is a party on a platter.